Hello, you Awakening Wonders. Welcome to our Pizzagate Wednesday, Thursday watch-along party. Obviously, the majority of this is going to be on Rumble because it's a contentious piece of content. Who is it that made it, Massey?
Well, it's kind of a bit of a mystery because it's been uploaded, deleted all over the place. The last upload we found of it was by a user on Rumble called Jim Decker. But I think Jim's just fighting the good fight. I don't think he actually made it. Otherwise, he's going to get like Epstein list or Clinton listed.
Actually, Epstein killed himself. We can officially confirm that now. So he's not going to get Epstein unless he himself takes his own life, which we know is a sin. Jake, what's that post, mate, that you...
Liz Crocken, she's been somebody who's been all over Pizzagate and some of these things that are conspiracy theories that keep getting, taken off the internet. But she was excited because she said Russel Brand's going to cover Pizzagate. And there's also a documentary called Out of Shadows that talks about all these things as well. So people are pumped that you're stepping into the arena.
We want to handle this sensitively, obviously, because it involves some pretty nefarious, dark, extraordinary and awful stuff. But we are also having pizza while we do it. I mean, like, Pizzagate at its heart is that children are being abused by high-powered individuals. And this is the first one, when I first entered the realm of conspiracy, albeit then under the psychological lubricant that is LSD, it was David Icke who was saying powerful people are having sex with children, and obviously that's a subject that's extraordinarily brutal, evil and awful. So we're handling it, of course, as a cultural subject, and it is from that purview that we're having pizza and watching it just as online folks on Rumble trying to understand the true nature of power. When it comes to the sort of sensitive side of people that have been abused, people that have been bred in captivity, women primarily, it seems, bred in captivity just to be abused and exploited, I guess we're going to be watching this, trying to understand it with from a whole host of angles. What's going on with the Epstein files? What's going on with the Diddy parties? What's going on with all the high-profile, powerful people having peculiar sexual relationships that appear to be repressed and scrubbed from the internet? Do you think, let me know in the comments and chat, that there's a high density of powerful individuals that are compromised by their sexual conduct? What is going on? How do all these things intersect and interrelate? What went on in that weird period of Me Too and BLM? Where are the lines where it comes to ensuring that people, women, men, all of us are not exploited by powerful people and these weird occultist organisations? It's something I've been interested in for a long time, and it's also a good opportunity to enjoy some pizza, but just in the abs, I've got to be careful with the carbs, baby. I don't want to go backwards. Let's, before we get into this, so we can still be on YouTube, at the moment we're still on YouTube, we're still on X, we'll be exclusively on Rumble. Join Rumble Premium if you can. Thanks Mug Club for the raid, thanks Crowder for the raid. I just want to go around the team here and ask what you guys know, if anything, about it. I'm going to start with you because you're nearest to it. Well, do you know anything about Pizzagate and stuff?
I know nothing.
Don't you remember it at the time when it was all happening?
I remember hearing it, and I knew that it had to do somewhat with child abuse. I knew that, but other than that, I know nothing about it at all.
This is what I know. I know that there was these weird stories centered around some pizza parlor in New York City, and that sometimes in emails you'd hear people say pizza and various sort of code words that were meant to be for passing around children. Now, I also know that what was initially referred to as Pizzagate was a straw man argument, essentially, where there are ridiculous conspiracies that are not true. And I guess it's like the stuff that we're able to talk about now. Clinton kill lists. Is it true that powerful people have people killed? Yeah. Does that mean that definitely the Clintons have unalived a bunch of people? I don't know what the evidence is for that. We're not discussing that one. But Pizzagate became... what we do know is that we were told it was a conspiracy theory to say that Biden was in cognitive decline. Oh, Biden was in cognitive decline. It was a conspiracy theory that the vaccines were safe and effective. Oh, turns out we were on the right side of that one. Do you remember that that weird like month period while Biden was still president where everyone started talking about UFOs all the time and then just stopped. It was just like UFOs every day. Do you remember? Like, and what I'm trying to understand is this weird amnesia that we're entering into. There's not been a proper reckoning about what happened in the pandemic, has there? There probably won't be. Maybe there will be with Bobby Kennedy in the position he's in. We're living in an extraordinary time. Do you see how like sensitive my mind is? If I hear a phone go off, I will say "ing" as I sort of rhyme instantly
everyone
with
heard
"ding."
that one. That was not one of your like supersonic.
That one, like, that's not me hearing stuff. That's not Kandinsky painting. That's action. That's not synesthesia. I'm not trying to taste a colour or smell sounds. That actually happened. Matthew, do you know anything about it?
I heard a bit about it, but I fell under the category of people who it just sounded too crazy a conspiracy theory at the time.
Yeah, it was QAnon and all that.
It was very like reptilian sounding, and it's just that. From the stuff I've heard about it, it just sounds that out there that you think surely this couldn't be true. That you have like. I've heard of like the code word pizza and then napkins, and there's emails going around where they're talking about napkins and pizza constantly, both things which we have here on the table. But with all this, like you were saying, with all the stuff that's turned out to be true over the past few months, few years, now I'm like, maybe
we should take a look.
Should take a little look at this.
I think about too the fact that they scrub it as quick as possible. Because
Yeah.
like, who gets to decide like this is bad for you? We want to take this off. But all
Who's doing that?
who's doing that? Because all the stuff on the internet, obviously, the first goal is not the health of the individual. We don't think about anything you could Google or watch. People aren't going, this isn't good for you.
It's not
This isn't good for
easy
you.
to scrub the internet.
For sure.
You know, it's not easy. It takes a lot of power to keep stuff down. And I know that these groups like Logically AI and CRISP are advanced out of Cambridge Analytica and they're about controlling the information that you see, amplifying certain stories and scrubbing others. They do it around elections. They do it when there's news stories that they want to promote. They did it a great deal during the pandemic period. We're in this sort of berserk and bewildering period where there are new kind of elites where because Elon Musk owns X and because of platforms like Rumble, there's an information kind of fugue. Stuff's not getting controlled in the way that they would like. But, you know, everyone's got an agenda. People talk all the time, oh, well, what about Peter Thiel? He owns a bit of Rumble. I don't know anymore about what we're supposed to do, who we're supposed to trust. So I would say free speech, absolutism, let's all work it out together because I don't know, other than God and Christ Jesus, there is no human earthly authority that can be relied on. We're all fallible. If you want a good plumber, go to a good plumber. If you want a good doctor for cancer, go to a good oncologist. Out here in the media space, expertise is bought and sold. A lot of the times I'm seeing people trotted out as experts, even people that are phenomenally successful, and you realise they just came up with a theory or idea that's beneficial. Yuval Noah Harari is the one I'm thinking of in that particular instance, because *Sapiens*, it's like an amazing book, but when you trace Yuval Noah Harari and his function in the cultural space, it seems to me that what he's good for is saying, AI is inevitable, get ready to welcome your new AI overlords. All right, well, look, we're 8 minutes in. The minute we press play on this thing, it means we're not going to be on YouTube. But not that we got a lot to lose on YouTube. We're demonetized, we're handled, we're strangled and choked. X even, I think, removes this. So I don't know what that tells
it was
us.
removed on X. The first link that you sent me, I went back to find it, and it's like it's gone. And then you have to go, you have to just go searching for it. And like Russell said, if stuff being scrubbed from the internet is not an easy thing to do, but this was hard to track down.
That makes me think, I wonder what names are mentioned in here. Like if they're calling out, taking shots at specific people in here, then that would maybe lead to that.
I mean, if it's that outrageous, surely, what are they worried about? Are they worried because if it's a
that's where I go.
reptilian thing, then most people are going to be like, okay, this is nuts, but there must be something in this for them to be afraid of putting it out. We're not that stupid.
It's like what you said. If UFOs were kind of mainstream for a while, then anything's up for grabs to watch and see. It's like I could see them, I don't know, a year from now, 2 years from now, being like, Pizzagate was real. And now we all need to talk about
and
it.
they won't want to talk about it. You'll talk to them about it. They're like, yeah, but Trump's president now. Let's talk about that. Like, mate, you've been running cover. Jake Tapper will have a book about bloody Pizzagate next year.
What do you think about the nature of the Epstein stuff now that, excuse me, but it is Pizzagate special, guys. Like when we saw Bongino, who, again, I love and I respect him, and I think he owns a significant part of Rumble, so I'm just like, I mean, I guess he's not on Rumble while he's at the FBI. I want to be totally respectful. On a personal level, as I keep saying, when I met Dan Bongino, I thought, this guy's for real. I understand his success. But I really liked a week ago when we talked about this first, and Alex Jones said that both him and Cash Patel looked like they were like, no, why did I want to kill my wife? Like an Alex Jones did. Like, it was like they both looked like they were doing it to sort of signal somehow that something was going on. Like Epstein killing himself in prison just don't seem right or possible. And I don't know, man. It seems like it's the one. A lot of people have identified it as the one. And I know, look, we're not doing this Pizzagate because it's urgently contemporaneous, but I suppose let's take advantage of the fact that Rumble will not censor this. Rumble have been kicked out of France, they've been kicked out of Russia, they've been kicked out of Brazil. We're in a weird time, and I think they've sort of sorted out their deal. They're in litigation with Google, YouTube. Rumble are free speech absolutists. They're a great platform. We want to take advantage of that. So, but once we press play, we're off YouTube and we're probably off of X. So in a sense, what this is about is us talking about conspiracy theories in general. It used to be a conspiracy theory that 9/11 had complex origins. It used to be a conspiracy theory that to say anyone other than Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK. It used to be a conspiracy theory to say don't take those shots, they might cause myocarditis, and certainly children didn't take them. The world is changing fast. Old centralized powers are trying to hang on. And I'll say this as a Christian, and I was listening to something, I'm much more Christian than either you or you, by the way. I'm more Old Testament than you over there. Are you mic'd up, Isaac? Why won't you get on the microphone? And you're an out and out atheist, so, you're not even coming to this party. But I was just listening to something about saying, like, that we as Christians should embrace the mysticism, like that we shouldn't be like, well, what it is it's a sort of a nice moral code and do as you should. Yeah. Like we should be embracing, there's Archangel Michael, 100%. Demons, we're in a demonic war, let's go. Because and all of that stuff is descriptions of like human sacrifice, child sacrifice. The old gods on the false idols, the gods that they're fighting against in the Old Testament, seems like they're all about sex stuff. I read the other day, I was reading in Judges, and it had a familiar trope now to those of us that are in the Old Testament that you'll recognise from Genesis, when they went to inform Lot that Lot, you might want to get out of town. Like the angels that went to tell Lot get out of town, the people in the town wanted to rape them at the time, and then the same thing happens again in Judges. Like people bang on the door. Who's these people that have come to town to give you information? Send them out here so we can rape them.
Yeah, well, that's in the Bible.
Oh yeah,
twice,
everywhere in the Bible.
You need to read the Bible.
You'll love it.
Read it.
It sounds like Game of Thrones stuff.
Well, it is Game of Thrones.
But what you're saying is true, because even the Bible says that we're not fighting against flesh and blood at all, but against principalities and dark powers. And that's really what's going on here. Is it's not just what we're seeing that's going on. There's something deeper.
And I think it's proof that if, people say, I'll listen if an angel comes to me right now, it's proof that even if an angel did appear, you'd still do what you wanted to do. Like, even if Jesus himself appeared and said, I'm real, here's what you should do, you would still choose your own fleshly desires. And that's what that's a picture of.
And that's where the forgiveness comes in.
For sure.
I mean, not to make Isaac really regret not having a microphone, but the whole story of the Old Testament is them like, give us a sign, Lord, look after us. Okay, I'll lead you out of Egypt. Well, we're hungry. All right, we'll give you food every day. Oh, can you lead us? All right, have a column of smoke and a column of fire. Yeah. But, and even stuff like that Samson story that I was joking about the other day, I'm paraphrasing the Bible, which is, I suppose, kind of blasphemy. But Samson, with his interactions with Delilah, before he tells her, my strength is in my hair if you cut my hair, she keeps asking him, and he goes, if you tie me up with this special kind of twine, that will diminish my strength. He wakes up the next day, she's gotten him drunk, there's some guys in the closet, he's all tied up with twine. Then he's like, oh, man, I can't trust this bitch. Then he goes back with her again, and she goes, what is the secret of your strength? And he goes, all right, what it is if I drink this special elixir? He wakes up, she gives him that elixir, there's some guys in the closet, and he still, eventually does tell her, look, all right, what it really is if you cut my hair. But when I think about my stupid conduct with drugs and the things that I've done, what I know were dumb to do, like the number of times it's been clear to me that if you do this, if you drink that, it's going to ruin your life. And I've still done it. So there are sort of, as well as the kind of vivid depictions of superhuman strength, demons, angels, giants, weird citadels, allusions to lost cities, floods. It's supernatural. It's supernatural. The Bible is supernatural. To be a Christian is supernatural. To believe that there's an all-loving, all-powerful God that sent his son to earth to be sacrificed that we might be redeemed of our sins is supernatural. And we try to fit in to secularism. I was actually listening to a brilliant British Catholic Frank Skinner, who was a great comedian, a pretty controversial comedian actually in his time, like, edgy is what I suppose I'm trying to say. And he was saying we should embrace Christianity in all of its sort of glory. And now that now we're in this territory where people are like, is AI going to be a kind of demon? Has there always been some weird occultist undercurrent to world power? What's going on with 500,000 missing kids every single year? And so it's from that perspective that we look at Pizzagate, hopefully with sensitivity to any of you that have been affected by abuse and exploitation, and ultimately that's all of us. I mean, who hasn't been ultimately, but certainly not to the extraordinary degree as some of the stories in this documentary. Myself, I only watched the first 10 minutes, and it was what excited me about it and why I wanted to watch it with you lot and do it as a watch along is the guy says this: look, you've probably heard of Pizzagate, you've probably heard of Q, you've probably heard of all these things, and you'll have heard some dumb stuff. Like when you Google it, he says, or search it on a search engine that's somewhat reliable, these are the things that will come up. And some of that stuff is dumb. And that might mean, because it's so refutable and plainly not true, that you will put aside this investigation. But then he goes on to say, these very powerful figures were, like folk in Congress and the Senate and various other government workers in your country and mine, were arrested for child abuse and child porn related stuff. And what happened there is I remembered my first foray into this world. Like, when I started doing acid and reading controversial books and getting into David Icke and you can't trust the government, and I went down the line of thinking that you could do this somehow from a socialist perspective or from a New Age ayahuasca perspective, all the different ways, Marxism, revolution, Cuba, Che Guevara, all these different things that, where I've been trying my whole life to sort of go, I can't trust this system. We can't trust this system. What is it? What is it? What is it? This constant search. One of the things I encountered then was all this stuff about adrenochrome, because of probably John Ronson's work in investigating people like Alex Jones. He went to Bohemian Grove with Alex Jones in the 90s, John Ronson, and he wrote about David Icke as well. He wrote a book called Them about extremists, because pre the internet culture, all these forces that have found their true expression in the internet were all kind of bubbling up. Now we can all talk about it, we can have accounts on it. And I thought, why not just go right into this? So let me know what you think in the comments and chat. I bet one comment I know that's in there is, Russell Brand, he's pretending it's a pizza thing, but I see him eating some avocado and poached eggs. That guy's a pussy. He's not even committed to proper carbohydrates. So I'm going to have another bite of Pizzagate pizza for our Pizzagate special. Let's get into our Pizzagate watch along. Let us know what you think in the comments and chat. Remember, we're having a little break at the moment. We'll be back with our stream show from June the 9th. Live, guests, adventures. And we're not taking no prisoners. We don't need no prisoners, actually. We're not going to hold back, baby. Let's get into it.
Pizzagate.
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 A conspiracy theory. Debunked internet conspiracy theory.
A fictitious online conspiracy theory.
If you're watching us on YouTube, click the link in the description for our Pizzagate special. Join us, join along. It's an intelligent look at conspiracy theories, because we now know that what starts conspiracy theories end up being conspiracy facts. Could this most baroque and ridiculous conspiracy theory also be true? Let me know what you think in the comments and chat. Click the link in the description.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them and have no one ask where they are. We're also